Hi, and welcome back to the breadboard. Today we have a mailbag item that's arrived and we want to review this. So we're going to have a little unboxing, and I know what's in here because I was in discussions with the company a little while ago. And what I have is a 11.6 inch touch screen portable display that you can use with anything really that can output an HDMI or USB 3.1. So the 10 gigabit interface, USB 3 with video over that, so that would be like a display port combo with USB 3 type C. You don't have to have that for this to work, by the way. We'll try it with a standard Microsoft Surface laptop using just a HDMI adapter and a USB 3 port, and we'll still be able to use this. The display is full 10-point capacitive touch. Supposedly it will work with the Microsoft Surface Pen that I have. We're going to test this on a Microsoft Surface as well. So I guess without further ado, let's get the thing open and have a look. Okay, so let's get this out of the box. I've already opened it and just checked for damage. So as I said, Magedok. Now this is a portable monitor, we've already said that, 11.6 inches, IPS screen, full HD 1080p touch screen, and it also has audio. So you should be able to play audio over your HDMI to this, and we'll give that a go as well. Box is quite sturdy. The packaging was quite nicely done to keep it protected because it came quite a long way to get to me. There's a way in here somewhere. There we go, nice and simple. So we have the user manual in English, which is nice to see. A lot of common sense things. Well, to somebody that's used to working around computers, tells you what you've got in the package. We've got the display, a bracket so you can lean it up, lightweight, a mini HDMI cable, USB-A to USB-C cable, and the user guide and a warranty card, and a mini USB cable. A bit of dimensions: 9.8 millimeters thick, 304 by 187, giving us an 11.6 inch active display area. On the back of the screen we will have a set of controls for on-screen display, exit, volume, brightness, etc., increase and decrease, power on off, and then we have the stereo speakers. Number of connectors on the side: USB-C port, micro USB port for power, to power this thing. If you do have a full functioning USB-C port, you don't need the USB-P micro USB port for power. It will completely work over the USB-C. Only more modern computers will have that though. 3.5 millimeter earphone output jack, so you can listen to your sounds while the built-in speakers. Micro USB port and a USB-C port, so we'll check those in a moment. After that, it just goes on to different methods of interfacing the display to various computers, either with the full USB-C cable, USB without power capability, and then a power and touch capability. Then we've got the HDMI with a USB for power and touch, and power, signal, and touch as separate things. On-screen menu, settings. I won't bore you with all the details. Well, if there's an online version of the manual, I will set a link in the description. And more information about how to set up Windows and things, setting extended displays, Windows, Mac OS X, how to set it up for using with Linux, probably something like the Raspberry Pi. Yep, we'll try it with the Raspberry Pi as well, just to check. Brightness 300 candle per meter squared, typical contrast ratio 800 to 1, 170 degrees viewing angle, 26 millisecond response time, 2-lane EDP signal interface for the video. It's a 16:9 aspect ratio, a little bit wider and narrower than a lot of typical screens. More modern look, I guess, and some troubleshooting Q&As. All right, that's enough of the manual. Let's get to the display. So nicely protected in the box. This feels very much like pulling out my Surface because looking at this, it's almost the same size, except that it's got a wider display. Anyway, this is our display. It's got a 3/4 inch-ish band. I can see in the shadows. I don't know if you can see that, maybe not. I guess we'll see it when we turn it on. Looks like there's a couple of sensors up here, probably for automatic brightness. We've got the connectors on the side, so we've got power, HDMI, USB-C, and the headphones. Control buttons on the back, and our speaker ports. It's a rubberized back, so comfortable to hold, won't slip around too easily. So what else have we got in the box? We have the very nice HDMI, mini HDMI to full-size HDMI adapter. We have the USB to micro USB port adapter, and we have the USB to USB-C adapter as well, so that's for USB 3. Stand, some slight assembly required, and I guess a couple of little Velcro straps to tidy up your cables once you've got the install that you want to be doing. So, very cool. Let's get this put out the way, and we will hook it up to my Surface to start with and see how well it works. Okay, so all I've done is I've hooked up the USB-C cable to my USB output of the Surface, and I've hooked up the HDMI through the DisplayPort to HDMI adapter onto my Surface, and that's it. No drivers have been loaded or anything else, so let's see if this works. There we go. Looks like the last display I had on my Surface might have been in the wrong orientation. Let me just try and fix that. So you can see it's come right up. It's already handling the display. I'm just going to change the display settings and rotate that image. Shows that it will quite happily handle the display in that orientation, which is really cool. Actually, it's my Surface Pen. This is used for the touch screen of my Microsoft Surface. You can see here it's responding quite nicely to my Surface. Question is it working on here? And it looks like it is. Yep, bring up the Windows menu, bring up Cortana, start up Word. Starting up on the other screen, but that's okay. So, yep, that seems to work fine as far as the interaction with just a standard Microsoft Surface Pen. Let me just fix the orientation of the screen here. Just put it back to landscape mode and keep the changes. So I'll put that back down. So there we go. And as you can see with this, if I just disconnect my Surface on the keyboard a second, you can see that the screen, my Surface, is actually about the same active width, but it is maybe an inch taller, but it's the same resolution. So this is just, instead of a 7:9, this is, what did I say, 16:9? So different aspect ratio, but they're both 11, 12-inch displays. So when you're watching a movie, depending on what kind you're watching, for instance, it may have borders. Or if you're using a drawing package, it's not the same kind of ratio as a ladder sheet of paper, for instance. Anyway, that's showing it coming up right up there. Now, how does this handle a drawing package, for instance? Let's see if I have something on here. I know we're in the process of reviewing a 15.6-inch display my daughter's just bought for her artwork. So she's been trying a few different things out, including on here. We have a thing called Fire Alpaca, I think, which is a drawing application. Yep. So let's drag that onto this screen. So there we have Fire Alpaca. And I'm not in mirrored mode. So let me just zoom in on this screen. Actually, I'm running, instead of that, I'm going to leave this full screen, and then I'm going to capture the other screen using Snagit so that we can see better what's going on. So I'll move across here. Where's my mouse? Yeah, I'm looking at a funny angle here. There we go. So we'll capture full screen on that right hand screen in video mode. And we'll do our little test. Okay, so this is Fire Alpaca. The idea is we want to be able to do drawing and things. Now obviously I don't have a file started yet, so let's just go File, New, and it's got some things happening on this. Might be just this thing of coming up on two different screens. You can see it's coming up over here. That's a very common feature with a lot of drawing packages that don't like to handle dual screen. So I'm just going to pick my screen height and width. I'll leave it at 1600 by 1200. We'll just go with the default for now. Okay, so now we have a drawing surface on here. So I should be able to just draw. If I press lightly, it should be relatively thin, and if I press heavily, so it is certainly responding to the touch sensitivity. Can you draw with a finger? No, it's actually recognizing that I'm using my finger and it's not interfering, which is good. That's what you want when you're trying to do drawing. Pick different colors, do something in red. So that's all working nicely. Menus. So you can see here we're doing different menus. That's working okay. Let's pick a... These left icons are quite small right now, but I think that's for grabbing an area. Nope, that's a different brush type. I'm not used to using these programs. Selection, maybe. There we go. So we can select an area. So it looks like all the basic functionality is working well. Now, can we erase? I'm still doing selections there. Let's go back to the pencil. And I should be able to, if it's responding to this, yeah, I'm pushing the button on my Microsoft Surface Pen, the top one, and it's doing an erase here. And I think if I push the bottom one, not sure what it does differently. I haven't programmed anything specifically for this yet. So that's pretty good. Working out very nicely as far as drawing is concerned. Like I said, the package, what would be nice, and this is more about software, not this display, would be to have a lot of your menus on one screen, for instance, over here, and have your drawing surface over here. What's also nice, though, is to be able to rotate the display and have a, if you're doing a portrait, you want to be able to hold it the way you would be normally drawing or something. Now, I think also with this, as you can see here, I can easily, I can't rotate there, but I can easily pinch, zoom, and expand. Will it let me rotate? No, this particular package won't let me rotate. There may be some that do. I would have to find some. So that works very well. Touch sensitivity, and it's not drawing where I'm touching. All right, even if I use my fingernail, it is not drawing. So it's completely interacting with the pen. Now, this is the Microsoft's one, as I said, but you can get other ones. I should go grab a a Huion pen and see if that works. 1 second. So I grabbed the Huion pen from a different display that my daughter has. So let's see if this works. It's not. No, that's not going to work. I'm not sure if there's something I have to do to tell it that it's there, but this may be an active one with the Huion display. Anyway, that's fine. This is the Microsoft Surface one, and that works just beautifully. The feel on the screen is very nice and smooth. It has a very slight drag that you would get with a piece of paper. If you were trying to draw on a piece of paper. So that's working quite nicely. Yep. So what's it like to maybe play a movie or something like that? I'm not going to be able to give it a lot of justice on this, but let's just close Fire Alpaca and we'll bring up some kind of, I'll just play a couple of seconds of something because actually, you know what, I'll just go to YouTube. That's fine. That will be safe. So I'll bring up a browser, take it over here. Where's my mouse? And we'll bring that up. We'll go to YouTube. And we'll play one of my videos. Ender 3 power ground fault. So, one thing I did want to do. So that is actually this here. There is a volume control. It's the third button down. So increasing, decreasing. It's a little bit tinny, but it does work. I don't know what volume I've got coming out of my tablet here. Let's just have a look. Yeah, so we can change it from the PC as well. Like I said, a little bit tinny, but you know, they're very low profile. You know, you're not buying it because of the speakers. You're buying this for an external touchscreen for use with drawing and things like that. Anything that can basically output an HDMI signal or a USB 3 with a video signal over the USB. So the color looks actually reasonably okay. It's a little bit dark, but that's probably because that's how I recorded it at the time. Let's just try something else that might be more appropriate. Oh, just pick somebody else's and see what it looks like. With Wix, you can create a professional website that looks stunning. Just go to Wix.com. Best part is you can update from a color quality perspective, it looks perfectly good. Colors are good. Brightness is good. I don't think I have this at full brightness anyway. Let me just pause this. I don't think I have this at full brightness anyway. Nope, I don't. It's way down. Select that brightness. There we go. Now I've got it. Now we can bang the brightness. That's 100% brightness. So the whites are pretty good. The darks are not too bad. The blacks are good. I'm not putting I don't have anything to test the actual color quality or anything like that. So next we'll pull out a Raspberry Pi and we'll try it with that. Okay, I've now hooked up the Raspberry Pi. I've put a brand new image on it. It's not been edited or anything in any way. All I've done is allowed it to power up once on my other computer, just so that I got the updates and everything else, but I have not tweaked anything except telling it that I'm in Canada and connecting it to my Wi-Fi. So I've just plugged it in to the Magedok 11.6 inch display. So let's see how well we do with driving this. So we can see at the edge here, down this edge, that there is a bit of a border. Let me just get some overhead lights on. Maybe we can see better. If it doesn't glare too much, that is. Yeah, that's okay. So we can see, there's the full display. We've got the edge of the display finishing about here, so there's just over 1/4 inch. Now, one of the things that the manual does tell us, if I go into settings, there was one here for the Raspberry Pi, I think. Was to adjust some Windows 10. Let's have a look. Windows 8. There we go. Linux, Raspberry Pi. So we have to change the boot folder config.txt file to add an HDMI group, mode, and CVT, and probably getting rid of some of the offsets as well for it. Just here we have to set these parameters, and that should be fine after that. So let me just do those changes. We'll reboot and see if it works. So what we have to run here is sudo nano /boot/config.txt. Helps if I have a space between sudo and nano. Okay, so we're running sudo nano, and we need to edit and add in those changes. So we're just going to go back down to the same place. So HDMI, we will enable that, change the group to 2, change the mode to 68, and we will add the extra line saying HDMI underscore CVT space 1920 by 1080 by 60 000. Oops, missed the 6 in there. 6 space 0 space 0 space 0. All right, so now we can save that. So X, save it, yes, same name. Now we can just do a sudo reboot, and what we should do is see the screen come a little wider, top, bottom, left, and right. So currently the touch screen, if I touch the very top, is actually about 1/4 inch below the top of the graphical display, which actually shows that the touchscreen is correct, but the alignment is not correct. So after we reboot, it should fix it. So let's give that a go. Okay, booting up again. So you can see the screen is right to the top. Still booting up. And there we go. And now you can see I can actually get the, I don't know if you can see that, but I can get the cursor now right to the very top, which has always been there because the touchscreen is completely independent to the actual graphics behind it. Now that I've zoomed up the graphics, it actually aligns properly with where I'm touching, which is perfect. So let's see how well maybe this will play a YouTube video and see how that works. That all works nice. Excellent. That now completes. Oh, I did want to I actually tried the Chrome device and it wouldn't even drive the display, so I'm not sure what's wrong with these or what it is, where the incompatibility lies, but I do not have the ability to figure out where it is. I know this works perfectly well with my full TV type screens. It's just not turning this on, so there's something in the protocols that's in one of these two that's not responding properly. Because of how many things this display is working on, I have a feeling it may be the Chrome that's misbehaving. But what matters to me is that I can use this with a Windows 10 computer. It works no problem at all. I've used it now with a Raspberry Pi, works no problem at all. Minor adjustment to the config.txt to get it working. So this Magedok 11.6-inch display, full 1080p capable display, works just great. No drivers have to be loaded or anything for the touch or for the screen, which is good. It works with the Surface Pen, which is excellent. My daughter has given it a little try with doing some drawing on a Windows machine. She's got a lot of graphics skills and things. And the only thing that she really had a complaint about was that the aspect ratio was a little off from what she's used to. And she also has a 15.6-inch touchscreen graphics pen tablet that she uses to draw with anyway, so it's going a bit smaller for her. But it did function perfectly well, which was the point of me having her have a look at it. We will be doing some separate videos on using tablets for drawing and things in the future. So we'll be doing the 15.6-inch display, and we'll also be doing this one as a separate video. From a review of this one, I think it's pretty good. The price, we'll have to have a look. Let me just see if I can bring it up right on screen, actually, right here, right now. So here it is. So $159 at the moment. That is pretty good for a portable with built-in speakers, HDMI, touch compatible, and it's not just, you know, it's finger touch compatible as well as stylus. The display that my daughter has, which was over $600, you can't touch it and do rotations with your fingers. You can only use the pen with it. This, you can use a pen, but you can also use your fingers. So some graphics packages, you can rotate the display and all that kind of stuff, which is really, really cool. So it has some pluses, being compatible with or using the same technology as the Microsoft Surface displays have on their tablets and things. So you can, you know, if you want to buy a nice pen, you can go get one of the Microsoft ones or one of the other compatible ones. This display doesn't come with a pen because its primary purpose is to be a portable monitor, but it is using capacitive touch technology, as I said, which is fully compatible with a lot of pens and things that are out there as well. So will it make a good portable graphics drawing tablet? Sure, it would, and it works quite well. And I think for now, that's all I have to say about it. They sent me this to review. I've had it for a little while, so I apologize to Magedok for taking so long to have a look at it and make a video for you. But if you are looking at an external, like a portable display, or in this case, right, you're seeing me here using it with a Raspberry Pi. It is working perfectly well with a Raspberry Pi, so you don't have to use it as a portable display. You can use it as a local display. You could probably, make a 3D print or make a small mount to put it on the wall and use it as a controller for home automation. You can have it as an extra display next to your PC for gaming, for putting extra information on there, for controls or anything like that, macros and things if you wanted to. Using it for Raspberry Pis, using it for almost, I won't say anything with an HDMI output, but almost anything with an HDMI output. We did, I did mention that the Chromecast did not work with it. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with it, and I'll provide a link to Magedok and Amazon as to where you could get these things from. And yeah, if you have any questions and you want me to try something, just let me know, and if I can, I will try it and let you know the results of it. Well, that was slightly deafening there for a second. Before I sign off, I just wanted to try one last thing that I thought of, and that was to use this display as a monitor for what my camera is actually seeing. So what you have here right now is the camera looking at the screen, but the screen is displaying what the camera is seeing. So hence the really cool kind of effects that you can get with feeding back the video signal on itself, which is kind of cool. Doctor Who-ish kind of old Doctor Who effects, which was always really cool, that I liked as a kid. But anyway, that's one of the ways that they did it. They fed the video signal back on itself. Anyway, the screen being a full 1920 by 1080 is perfect for viewing the high definition output of my Canon HD G30 video camera that I use to record my YouTube videos with. So here it is, working very nicely as a monitor. So that's something that's worthwhile having in the future, is to set up a video lead. I mean, even if you're out in the field, just a USB battery pack powering the monitor, because the camera doesn't have an output, would allow you to have this mounted maybe on the front of the tripod, and you can see exactly what you're recording while you're making your videos or whatever, so that you can actually improve the quality, because you'll be able to see right away whether things are in shot or not. Didn't think of that use for this immediately, but to be honest, it's a great size for that kind of functionality, and as you can see right here, it works perfectly well, right? So anyway, that's it. Thought you'd just like to see that one last thing that I thought of, and as usual, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, then don't. And I'll see you again soon, where we start looking at some more capabilities, potentially, or at least using the display in some of my other videos. Maybe I'll start using that literally as a really nice monitor for while I'm recording. Maybe a live stream or whatever it might be, so that I can see what I'm doing. I haven't done any live streams yet, so that would be interesting. Anyway, catch you on the next one. Bye.